So what I'm going to do now is make a batch of super delicious, what are they, oatmeal muffins with like this lovely little cinnamon streusel top on them. And basically, the point of this is probably going to take us about 15 minutes to do, and we're not going to make any cuts, which is just so sad for me because I kind of have many awkward moments. But it's just to show all the people out there who are like afraid of even tackling baking that it's really simple. It can really be quick and easy too. So we're doing this now. Okay, ready? So I'm going to start by making the streusel topping for the muffins, which starts with butter. You almost always start with butter in baking, and you know it's going to be yummy, and it's great because butter is amazing. So we are just working with chilled butter. I just took this out of the refrigerator. You want it to be as cold as possible because we're trying to make like a crumbed mixture. So if it's melted, obviously it's going to be soupy and not crumbly. Okay, so that was easy. 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Scrape every last bit in there. Okay, that's out of the way. And we're going to put some sugar in our streusel. We want 1/4 cup of light brown sugar. I don't know what that meant. My cameraman started talking to me.
Your light. Your light.
Oh, my light. Is that better?
Yep.
Okay. And we want 1/3 cup of oats for this. And 1/4 cup of flour. Okay. And you want to level off. Mom always taught me to do it with a knife because then it's actually level. People use their fingers a lot, which I sometimes do. I call it cheating, but I do it. But I had butter on my hands, so I'll play by the rules. Okay, so now once you have those ingredients, I forgot the cinnamon. Stupid me. The cinnamon's like the best part next to the butter and sugar. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And I love cinnamon, so I don't care if it like spills over a little bit. Such a warm spice, and it's super cozy. I love it. I think it's one of the spices that you really can't not like. You know what I mean? It appeals to all. Okay, so we're making a crumbed mixture. So basically, you could be cutting this in with 2 knives if you wanted. If you had a pastry cutter, which is sort of, it has like a bunch of little lines in it. That's really descriptive. Anyway, a pastry cutter, if you have one, you know what it is. You could use that. But basically, you know, the great thing about muffins too is that they're fast, they're easy, and they don't require a lot of kitchen contraptions. You know what I mean? Like all we need are some bowls, a wooden spoon, measuring cups, you know, the super bare bones basics that you probably have in your kitchen already. So I'm just sort of crumbling this together, and you don't need the butter to completely melt, but you definitely want it to get kind of like tinier crumbles. See how, whereas like that is too big of a clump, you just want to keep just guiding it through with your fingers. You can work kind of quickly, and you want to work quickly actually because you know your fingers have heat, and then you're going to melt the butter, and then that's going to result in a less crumbly topping. But that looks good to me. I think everything is nice and combined. Good enough. Just going to kind of scrape it off and wipe my hands. So there, 1/3 of our muffins finished, and it's been 4 minutes. Okay? Because I'm timing us. That's right. Okay, on to, I want to do wet ingredients. Wet ingredients. We're going to start with 1 egg. Crack that bad boy in there. Oh no! I was just about to say too. Didn't even get any shells, and then one just popped in. So we have this egg, which I'm going to lightly beat before, just to break up the yolk and everything. Super fast, that's enough. And we need some milk. A cup of milk right here. All of my egg and my milk, by the way, are room temperature. I let them sit out for a couple of hours before I baked. I don't know, that's what they tell you. They always say use room temperature ingredients. So I think it affects, it's like, baking is kind of a science, so sure has something to do with that. But you always want your wet ingredients, I have to do this, to,
So what was that last ingredient?
vanilla, a teaspoon of vanilla, which is like that with cinnamon. Who doesn't like vanilla? Come on. It makes everything taste yummier. Okay. So we have vanilla, milk, and egg, and now I'm just adding 1/4 cup of oil. I'm using canola oil. Canola oil, or you can use vegetable oil. Canola oil is healthier for you because it has, I don't know, like less of some fat. I think like saturated fat or something. But vegetable oil is also fine because it's flavorless. Okay, so those are just lightly combined. That's our wet ingredients. And now we're gonna move on. I did it again! To dry ingredients. That's okay. I have this habit of doing things in the reverse order. Because I need 1.5 cups of flour. But now that I've gotten my 1 cup measure of wet from the milk, I'm just gonna do this 3 times. Which is fine, it's not a big deal. It's just less efficient, I suppose. So these muffins need 1.5 cups of flour. Just all purpose. You don't want self-rising. Just all purpose, regular flour. You don't need self-rising because we're putting in baking powder, which is our leavening agent. It's going to make them get nice and fluffy. We're putting in a tablespoon. I'm getting low on this stuff. Okay, good. A tablespoon of baking powder. I'm going to bring those oats back. We need 1 cup of these guys. Who needs to eat oatmeal for breakfast? You can have oatmeal muffins, right? Yay! Okay. And sugar is the last thing. We need 1/3 cup of lightly packed brown sugar. 1/3 cup of sugar. And that's it. So now I'm going to take a wooden spoon and just lightly mix the dry ingredients to combine them together, just like we did with the wet ingredients. Just sort of break up that sugar really good. And now, the grand finale. We're gonna mix the wet with the dry. And this is where muffins are really super awesome and a great place to start with baking, because you literally just want to, quote unquote, mix to combine. We don't want to overwork the batter because then they're going to be really dense. So it's like literally stupid easy. You just mix this together until all the flour is worked out. Like so. You can see they get kind of gloppy. This is a pretty gloppy muffin batter because of all the oats. But just in the little crevices. There we go. That looks good to me. So, 8 minutes and 29 seconds. We have our muffin batter and streusel ready to go into our lovely muffin tin, cupcake tin, whatever. It's just your standard tin. And I'm using an ice cream scooper to help spoon in pretty much even amounts of batter. I'm not going to fill this quite completely full, but this way it saves my fingers from getting super messy. So we're going to just put 1 little dollop. This should make 12 muffins. These guys, let me tell you, they're so good. I made them for my friends. I just found the recipe on the Quaker Oats website initially, and then I sort of have slightly adapted it to my own. But I made them for my friend's barbecue, just super last minute. I brought them over about half an hour after they came out of the oven, and everybody there went seriously, I couldn't believe they thought they were so good. They're like, oh my god, they're so delicious. And I was just really surprised. I didn't even taste them before I brought them over, so I didn't even know. Which is probably not something you're supposed to do. You're supposed to know what your food tastes like, I guess, but whatever. So yeah, so I'm just scooping these little guys. super quick. This is easy. If you don't have an ice cream scoop, you know, obviously you can just use a spoon. It's fine. It's the same thing as happening. We're just using this. And these have oats in them. So they're kind of healthy, right? Yay. Yay health. Heart healthy. Canola oil, oats. You know, you could maybe use, well, it doesn't have whole wheat flour, but that's okay. Okay, so then this is where the hard workout's gonna come in. We're just gonna scrape the bowl here. I'm not like those cooking shows. They always leave like so many scraps in the bowl and I'm like, what? It's like half a muffin. Literally, that's what this is right here. Okay. So we're just gonna, oh my God. Okay. Just gonna scrape that in. Okay. Now, for like the super great little finishing touch, our streusel that we made at the beginning, we're just going to sprinkle them pretty generously over each one. And this is really where a lot of the flavor comes in the muffins, because the muffin batter is, you know, it's pretty simple, but this has cinnamon in it, you know, and like that nice butter, which is nice and fatty, and it's just gonna add so much flavor. Right on top, it's gonna be a lovely little treat. So we're just gonna sprinkle this over. Has it started anyway again? Okay, yeah, our camera's weird. It likes to cut randomly sometimes. I don't know why. But there was no fancy action going on. Okay. So let's see. So I'm just gonna use up the extra little bits because we don't want this to go to waste because it's just sugar and deliciousness. Deliciousness. Okay. That's good. So one last little thing, you just want to pat, just gently, not to, you don't want to beat the batter, but you want to kind of tuck the, gently push the streusel to the muffin so that it kind of like helps glue it together. Otherwise, it'll just completely tumble off when it's baking. It'll just like bake up and then all of the yummy topping is just going to go in the oven. Which is sad, it should go in your tummy. So pat it down. And here we go. Let's see, 12 minutes and 35 seconds. All right, guys? And they're ready to go into the oven. That's like no time at all. So here we go. I have my oven preheated to 400 degrees. It's really important to preheat your oven ahead of time. I'm gonna put them on the center rack. That's what you do when you bake. Set my timer for 18 minutes. Well, I'll do for 16. Ooh, I'm going up to 24 for some reason. Okay, so they say 18 to 20 minutes. I'm going to put them for 16 so I can check them. And you just check them with a toothpick. You stick the toothpick in. If it comes out clean, then you know that they're ready. And then we can eat them and they're going to be so delicious. So now we're going to, you know, break so they can bake. And then I'll show you how good they are. Here are the muffins when they come out of the oven. These guys were in for about 17 minutes and it smells like Christmas and it's so exciting. I love it. But look at how cute they are. You made these in 12 and a half minutes plus 18 minutes basically of baking time. So I hope that this, like, you know, encourages you guys that to try baking. I mean, I can guarantee you that these taste better than like grocery store bought muffins, and they have like 6 ingredients in them, which is another reason why they're better than store-bought muffins, and they're cheaper. So it's like trifecta win. So see, look, we got the nice little crumb topping. You can see all the cinnamon sugary goodness, and it's even falling. Oh, I lost some. Oh well. Okay, here we go. Still steaming. Look at how beautiful that is. It tastes so good. So good. Yum. That's it.